All right. Well, hello, everybody. Dan Crosier here with COFOH Live Undead. I'm here with my guest, Gino Alfonso.
Nice to meet you all. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. For everybody out there who's not familiar, COFOH is Colorado Festival of Horror. We're getting ready for our first year event, which will be next September 11th through the 13th, 2020, at the Embassy Suites. The hotel over on I-70 and Havana. So right now we're at the stage of putting out together our guest list. I won't say who because I'm not allowed to. But Gino, thanks for coming out. We're here at a new setting at the Mutiny Cafe podcast studio. It's in the basement, and they have all these fantastic books around. They have
Perfect
real books.
Setting for a horror movie. So.
Right. As well, and incidentally, you've got your movie Compatible, which pretty much happens in a bit of a microcosm, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background in film and your interests. And then, of course, we're here to support your new film project, which has its own Kickstarter campaign. It's going on right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't mind, I know that's a big loaded question.
No, you bet. So yeah, I come from a background in theater. Was really where I started as an actor.
Oh, great.
But I'd always, from a young age, wanted to be a director and a writer.
Okay.
I wasn't sure in what capacity I wanted to do all of it until I got a little bit older. Started doing some short films in high school.
Oh, great.
Directing my own theater projects and stuff, and that kind of led into me creating my own company and developing my own short films, writing my own feature screenplays and stuff like that.
Nice.
So that kind of led into everything that's kind of going on now. So yeah, it's definitely been a journey.
Yeah.
For sure. Sold one feature screenplay that's in development right now.
Oh, congrats.
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
That's pretty cool, and hopefully going into production on that next year. A lot of stuff coming in 2020.
Yeah.
For me and for my team. So we're really excited. But yeah, Compatible is a really different kind of thriller.
Okay.
Thriller horror.
Okay.
Is kind of the mixed genre that we've got going. It's not a supernatural horror, so we're kind of staying away from the ghosts and stuff like that, which has kind of been a little bit done in the last 10 years or so.
Okay.
So I wanted to kind of flip it on its ear a little bit, stick to something a little bit more modern.
Okay.
This actually came about from a dream that I had.
Oh.
And it was just a quick image of someone online with the symbol for the, the market, like, levels of numbers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like an idea, it was just like a quick glimpse of something that sort of spawned this idea for this dating app.
Okay.
Which Compatible is a dating app that turns into a horrible nightmare for our lead character, Emily.
Okay.
And she goes on a couple of dates and they're kind of okay, but what Compatible is it allows the person dating to wear a camera on their dates and allow their followers to judge the compatibility of the other person that they're going with.
Okay.
So if it's not great compatibility at the beginning, it's up to the person who's doing the dating to continue seeing that person if they think it's a good fit. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they can move on to the next person.
Interesting.
So Emily goes on a few, and they're okay, but not great. And then she meets our lead, Greg, who seems to be perfect compatibility all around the board. Just perfectly charming, sweet guy, really good looking, the perfect choice.
We got some squeakiness coming through. It's like, oh,
you could tell how
it's like a haunted house here.
We might use this as a location.
You might have to. Right? I'll put you in touch with Jim.
Yeah. But so she ends up meeting Greg, and things go great the first couple of dates. Mom's a little bit unsure of the whole online dating thing, of course, because she's from a different generation. And then things take a turn for the worst after about date 3.
Okay.
And Emily is kidnapped by Greg.
Ooh.
And things go really downhill. But I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
So
sounds like my experiences on Craigslist.
Oh, gee. Well, that's why people stopped using Craigslist.
Right? I did get that email.
There was a whole Craigslist killer thing for like 3 years. Come on.
Yeah, see, I just stay away from social media. Hi, Facebook. Such a hypocrite.
Right. Which, kind of goes to the themes of compatible, which
right.
is the dangers and the kind of what leads into the warning signs of online dating and the
right.
things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And what situations people put themselves in. They seem completely extrovert online, but then when they meet in person, it's not quite who they really seem to be. So people, put up a facade
right.
on social media.
Right.
And so that's kind of what I wanted to hit on with this story and really make it to the modern audiences and really show,
Yeah, very much so. It seems very topical. Just like you were talking about, modern technology. I've seen, and I'm sure many others have, taken notice that, of course, you're going to have a completely different persona that you project online versus in person, and all you have to do is go to like the comment section on any platform and just see some of the most engaging or most horrifying elements of people, because there's no filter.
None at all.
They can remain supposedly anonymous. They're just pixels on there. Yeah. So there's no consequence of confrontation, so to speak. Not physical anyway.
Yeah.
And sometimes that does lead up to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really horrifying. And I also think about too like online bullying. You see some of these teenagers that just aren't prepared to deal with this and go off and due to it, they'll commit suicide, or they'll do some heinous act and some type of retaliation. It's
just
really
to get the attention. Yeah.
Right.
And it is horrifying, and sometimes it's even more the adults that are worse than the kids with the bullying.
Yeah.
Especially with like the economy right now and the turmoil that we're going through. So, I think this film is definitely hitting at the right time with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Like the dangers of Snapchat and even Facebook Messenger, because you can delete the messages right after, so there's no record of the conversation and it becomes more anonymous. Yeah. And things like that. So there's a whole nother level even beyond what compatible is about and the scariness that it can get to. Yeah. And I would be horrified to be a parent this day and age. To be honest, I'd be terrified for my kids. Right. Yeah. I don't have any kids, but I've got nieces and nephews, and even for the fun uncle. Yeah. That's something of concern. Yeah, very much so. And so I'm hoping that this film is not only entertaining, but is also a cautionary tale. Right. Of just be very careful of who you're meeting online and social media, and the confrontations that you get into. Yeah, and I think that is a good tool for art, is to kind of reflect back on society, like what's happening. Yeah, and kind of creating a little bit of that microcosm of what's actually out there, or an extension of that. Yeah, I think that's another tool of good horror, is being able to do that. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and we got a great team aboard to kind of help see that through. And you've got a fantastic team. Who's some of the people you're working with? Well, our cast consists of some newbies into the film world and some veterans as well. Like we have Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist. Classic. She was known as the Captain Howdy in the film, and the demon that Pazuzu that possesses Reagan. And she's actually already shot some of her scenes already here in Colorado. We flew her out back around Halloween, actually, in the middle of a blizzarding snowstorm.
Yeah.
So it felt like something out of The Shining, and
Yeah.
it was terrifying because we didn't know if she was going to get back okay, and
Right.
so it was an experience for
Nice.
sure. But she's been great to work with. Glad to have her on board. Bergen Reese is playing our Emily. She's done a
Cool.
few short films, so she's one of the newer talent that we have on board. But I'm anxious to really work with her.
Nice.
Joseph
great.
Kelly, who is behind the horror film Clown Motel. He was also in A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and
Oh, okay.
Bradley Cooper. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I think there.
It's a haunted
going.
house noises.
Yeah. It is. It's
I love
distracting my thinking.
Yeah, no problem. We like audience participation.
But yeah, but
I
we
love
have my co-producer, Angela Joseph, who was also part of Clown Motel.
Oh, okay, great.
We have G. Larry Butler, who's known for like American Flyer, I believe the Perry Mason show. I mean, so like he goes back,
Nice.
quite a bit. So
Yeah.
it's an all-star cast.
Yeah, you've got quite the pedigree.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of talent.
Yeah, for sure. Julianne Prescott is playing the sister.
Okay, cool.
Look her up. She's been in everything, and she's endless for 2020. She's got a ton of stuff coming out.
That's great.
So yeah, it's really exciting. My makeup effects artist is local effects guy, Evil John Mays. We worked together a couple of times. We did a Stephen King Dollar Baby short.
Nice.
A few years back, so that was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I do know the name. I don't know if I've ever actually met him.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you'll get to meet him on this one.
Oh, good.
He does amazing work. You can look him up online, and he's
cool.
got a lot of awards and stuff that pop up, and
nice
things that he's been a part of. So.
And you guys get going really soon too.
We do. We have 3 weeks. We're about a month away from production. We have a little under 3 weeks for the Kickstarter campaign to finish.
Where are you with that?
We are a little over 50%. We're just over 10,000 of our $20,000 goal. So if you like what you heard here, please go check out our campaign and pick up a perk, or just contribute for the love of horror. But there is something in there for everyone. We do have a couple of perks from The Exorcist.
Nice.
Surprise perks that
that's
Eileen was
awesome.
gracious enough to help us out with.
That's great.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We got some signed DVDs, scripts, couple more cameo positions available, but just a few. It's a very contained cast. So grab those while they're hot. Executive producer spots, which is really the big perk. You get like the VIP treatment at the red carpets and stuff like that. So come be a part of the team and watch the movie on the big screen, and join us for a really great ride this year.
That sounds wonderful. I contributed. I think I can't afford that much, so I made sure to get the DVD set.
Awesome.
But I highly recommend going and helping out this great pool of talent, and helping them out on their project, and making art come alive. We're gonna repost the link on here. It's already posted on the Facebook event page.
Correct. Yeah.
But I think only a handful of people have really chimed in there.
Yeah, and we do have an actual Facebook page for Compatible, a Screen Life Thriller. So you can look up me or any of the cast and crew, and they're all a part of that as well. Pat Kusnati, everyone. Joseph Kelly, Angela Joseph, we're all on that page. So if you're connected to any of us, you can check out the Facebook page as well, and that'll have the link to the Kickstarter campaign as well. And I'm also on Twitter at Gino _Alfonso, which it's shared a lot on there. So if you're on Twitter also, or Instagram, same tag. So
make sure to send us the Compatible page. And you said you have your production company too.
Correct. Genome Films. I've done over 20 short films with that company.
Oh, so you're just getting started.
Yeah, just a little bit. in feature films, yes. But I have worked on quite a few projects outside of Genome Films. But we specialize in horror and the LGBT market.
Excellent.
Also, so we branch out.
Nice.
a lot. But for me, it's if it tells a good story, if it's entertaining,
Yeah.
that's the type of movie that I want to do.
Yeah.
So the subject matter really that comes more second. But if it tells a good story, that's really, what connects with me.
Yeah.
So.
And in general, do you find yourself like producing, directing more horror content, or is it just whatever catches your eye?
I think it's,
as you said.
Yeah, I think it's whatever catches my eye. I don't want to like be pigeonholed as that type of filmmaker that's like just a genre director or just this type of thematic element or whatever.
Yeah.
Horror is definitely my baby.
Yeah.
I mean, I love horror. I mean, I grew up reading Stephen King, and Exorcist was coincidentally one of the first horror films that I ever saw as a kid. So,
yeah,
to have somebody from that film onto my first feature is kind of a bucket list.
Right.
So it's pretty awesome that it's kind of come full circle to that. So I got to pay my homage to horror for probably most of my career.
That's pretty sweet and pretty endearing. And like as you said, like Eileen is such a sweet individual to have participate in this.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. So you grew up on Exorcist. I remember that was probably my first horror movie because I pissed all over my grandmother's carpet. I don't know why she left that going. And mom and dad, and she was talking to mom and dad, and the other, I probably like 6 maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was not good.
I didn't see it that young. I think I saw it at like 11 or 12.
Oh, okay.
So that was like probably my first like more like intense adult horror movie that I saw, I'd have to say. But like, I mean, I saw like Stand By Me and you know Friday the 13th and stuff like that. But I really consider The Exorcist like my first true like horror movie that stayed with me for 30 years after.
Kind of haunted you or gave you nightmares or something?
A little bit, but also just, it's amazing storytelling.
Right.
I mean, it's not just a horror movie. It's about facing your demons of good and evil. And it's not just one person. It's everyone in that story is facing some sort of demon, not just Reagan, but also Father Karras and the mother with, the father having left and having to deal with the daughter by herself and her career and, the director even, dealing with his ancestral background, with the war and stuff, so there's different elements in there other than just the demonic possession. Right. But it's the demonic possession that we deal with in our day-to-day lives. So it's really more a story of good and evil, in the natural way of things, not just in religion. Right.
You're right. The characters have to deal with a lot of reconciliation with either past transgressions or relationships and stuff. So that's I think that reminds me of like the new is it? I'm probably gonna butcher it. Haunting of Hill House on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
So it's a terrifying series the first time you watch it, and then you play it again, and it's just like, oh, the real ghosts are the family.
The family's dealing with.
Yeah,
exactly.
All the trauma that they've endured and are trying to reconcile with. And some of them aren't successful, and some of them are. But it's just like that ended up being, it's like, oh yeah, that's the stuff I end up gravitating towards. The jump scares, that's the icing.
Yeah, that's the icing on the cake. Like, like with Hereditary or any of these other new modern horror movies, it's like I'm more about the movies that deal with the human drama, and then the horror is like an added, like you said, the icing on the cake. Right. Those are the ones that stay with you a little bit longer than just like the Insidious or the Conjuring like universes and that kind of thing. Even though those are good, but I like a little bit more in my horror. Yeah, so something with a little bit backstory, where you have fleshed out characters and they're clear characters with a clear story arc to them.
and you can relate to them and you know, engage with them on that level, at least as an audience participant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a hard time with some, not all, but you know, some horror where, you know, it's the character is just a prop to get murdered or something like that.
Yeah, like the Saw franchises and stuff like that.
Right.
Where it's just like they give you like this much backstory, and then the rest is just, let's see what horrific ways we can kill them off.
Somebody, yeah.
I mean, and as cool as that is,
yeah,
you know, being a gore hound myself, I still would prefer that extra bit of backstory to really move into a sequel if there's a sequel, or you know, prequel or anything like that.
Right. I just want to, you know, be able to, you know, care enough, you know, about the characters to want to, you know, sit through the whole movie and see what kind of, what I can grab from it, whether it's a complete story or maybe it's a character piece, or, you know, maybe it's just flat out comedy. And I think a lot of those, you know, over the top, you know, gruesome, you know, torture porn, so to speak, does tend to be more comical, because it's just like, you know, like there's another one that came out recently called the Terrifier. I don't know if you.
Oh yeah, I love the Terrifier film.
Yeah, that's one I just can't get into, but it's like every other scene, it's just like somebody else just getting eviscerated.
Oh, I'm really excited for the sequel though. I actually backed the Indiegogo campaign that they just
they
did.
had one.
Yeah, they're filming right now.
Is it still live?
No, I don't know. I'd have to reach out to the filmmakers and David Thornton, but I think they're completed because they're filming right now, or they're about to wrap on filming.
Yeah,
for Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I think Brian Bonner, who we work with, he's one of our guest coordinators. Yeah, he's a huge fan of that franchise. Pretty much anything horror, he's there.
Nice.
He's the front row guy. He's
well, come on board.
right. So yeah, he absolutely loves it. He talks it up quite a bit. Now I'm having talked to you and talked to Brian too, I'm like, maybe I should give it another try. Because I think for me it'll just be after that first time, it's just like, oh, this is nauseating. It's because it's just oversaturation.
It's a super throwback though to like some of the more 70s and 80s like slasher movies, where like there wasn't really a whole lot of backstory there. Like they were just like crazy for the sake of being crazy. Right. Like almost like an old Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. Right. You know, and I love those kind of movies too, because they knew what kind of movies they were going into them. Like if the movie knows what it is when they're being made, and they're not taking themselves too seriously, I have more fun with those. Right. If there's not as much character. Right. But if it's trying to be more serious and they take out all the character stuff, that's when I kind of lose the interest. Right. But yeah, Terrifier, I mean, it knew what kind of movie it was being made, and that's what I had fun with. Nice. It was just a throwback to childhood slasher movies that I'd find on the video shelf. Yeah. You know, the video store. Yeah. Growing up with like Toxic Avenger and stuff like that. So the things that are, clearly B movies and outright, don't take themselves seriously. Yeah. I absolutely enjoy. We've been friends with Lloyd Kaufman and Troma, and so we're hoping we can get them out for our event too. But that would be great. We had them at the Oriental Theater. Brought them out, I think in July for a screening. I saw that. One of my friends went to that and helped them out. And cool. Everything. So Lloyd's a really approachable guy. I talked to him on the phone a couple of times. Oh, great. Yeah. I don't know if he remembers it, but it was years ago, and he called me from Paris when he was like, "Can." Oh, that's cool. I was like, "Who's calling me from Paris?" I'm like, "I don't know." It was like 5 a.m. I'm like, my bill's gonna be astronomical. Luckily, he called, so I think it was good. Yeah, no, he's a lot of fun. His wife Pat is absolutely fantastic. Zach and Zach Vines and Richard Taylor. They're some of his blood guys from the Poultrygeist days. Oh yeah. Yeah. So it was nice doing that event because I was able to bring my girlfriend out and introduce him to Troma, or introduce her to Troma films. Nice. And so we watched
the new sequel to reboot supposedly of Class of Nukem High.
Oh,
and then we went home and watched Poultrygeist.
Nice.
I
love Poultrygeist. Those are fun. Mother's Day and I love Mother's Day. That was one of their more classic ones.
Yeah, I remember the original. I haven't seen, because there's a remake, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a remake. It was okay, but it didn't have the Uncle Lloyd flavor to it that some of them do.
Yeah, and I think most recently, not in the Trauma family, but I think, what is it, late 60s or 70s, 71? 2000 Maniacs?
Oh, 2001 Maniacs.
2001 Maniacs.
Yeah. No, the original was much better than the remake. Although Robert Englund was fun in the
Right.
That was the one thing that kind of made that.
Yeah, I think I saw that when it came out. It was like mid 2000s. I think. Yeah. It's like 2004, 2005.
Yeah. It was fun, but it wasn't the same as the original.
Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, just seeing that, it's just like, oh yeah. And even for back then, it was like the social commentary.
Yep.
Was absolutely, for me, it's just like, yep. That's the thing I kind of gravitated towards.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it just couldn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
Everybody's, does portray some kind of nuts.
Yeah, exactly. And it very much had like a original, like Hills Have Eyes, kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of
guess that would be kind of a precursor to Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Okay. I can totally see that.
Hills Have Eyes was like kind of its.
Well, and you look at that like it's kind of that fish out of water.
Mm-hmm.
So because 2001 Maniacs, these couples come driving into this secluded southern town and have no idea what they're getting themselves into, and can't really relate with the local rituals going on.
Yeah. One way to put it.
Yeah. And then same thing with like Hills Have Eyes. They're stranded and they're in an unknown terrain, especially the original back in the 70s.
Yeah.
There's no cell phones. There's no modern technology to
get out of that situation.
Right.
Yeah. But no, that's kind of where I'm with horror though. I mean, if just either the straight up goofball horror or the very more serious psychological type of stuff. And, but if it's horror, I'll watch it. I'll give it at least a try.
Yeah.
But there's really not enough of it. As much as there is, there's still not enough of it.
Yeah.
Like people are afraid, like, well, how far can I go with it? Because everybody gets offended and whatnot this day and age. So it's like, I think people are kind of afraid to touch on certain types of horror films, especially like the studios rather than the independents and stuff. So
true. I think at the same time that's going on, you're getting these horror films that are able to crack almost $1 billion internationally. So like it Chapter 1 almost did that, and Chapter 2
did almost
pretty
$1
well.
billion. I think it was like 700 million or
something like that.
It was like on the cusp of hitting $1 billion for a sequel, which is pretty impressive.
And I think that's why you also see them going back to the Stephen King staples. So you've got like from newer properties like Dr. Sleep, that came out, and then
The Outsider on HBO next
month.
Oh,
that's
which
right.
I can't wait for.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
The fact that it's Jason Bateman, like it's such a weird, like out of the box moment for him.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't typically do horror. I mean, he's more of a romantic comedy kind of guy,
but he did do the Ozark series on Netflix.
That was a little bit
really good.
That was a little bit different too. So I think this is a little bit more toward but like as far as more like movies go,
true.
He's definitely more the like go to like romantic interest or character actor type, so to see him in this type of dark role, I love the book.
Okay.
It's probably one of my favorites since like 11/22/63.
Okay.
That King wrote, and probably one of his most mature
Yeah.
but definitely not for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Given the subject matter. But it'll be interesting to see how they tackle it.
Nice.
With the intensity that surrounds the character and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of the horror stuff this year in theaters. But yeah, there still needs to be more.
Right.
But in those movies that we were just talking about, I mean, they got $20 million budgets or more.
Mhm.
You know, we're only looking for 20,000.
Right.
You know, and
So get on it, people. Help them out.
we're in the, that same vein as, like Unfriended and Searching, which were shot for less than $1 million.
Yeah.
And they grossed over $89 million a piece.
Yeah.
So
it seems like as a genre, like economically, horror does have the greatest gains to be gotten.
Yeah, you could shoot a movie for a micro budget like the Paranormal Activities, also
Right.
for $15,000,
Right.
and they grossed over $100 million in 7 sequels.
Yeah.
Or more. I think they're on 8. Or they're
Something
ready
like
to do
that.
Another one.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm usually wrong. But wasn't those the vehicles that launched helped launch, I should say, Blumhouse Productions? Because that's like the
it was
one of the go-to production
go-to movies.
houses for horror genre specifically.
Yeah, that was one of their earlier films that they did, and
Okay.
that kind of helped them be able to do the stuff that they're able to do now, and really get that track record going.
Yeah.
Showing that they can make a profit off of a very minimal budget.
Yeah.
And the first one terrified the hell out of me.
Right. Okay.
Because it's like everyone's had their own little experiences, they say that they've had and stuff. And, so it's like, and that's why I think that series is so relatable, because people have all kind of claimed at one point or another their own spiritual, supernatural experiences. And to like feel that in the theater and no real music score to enhance your
the experience,
ideas and stuff, like a regular movie, that's what I think made that more terrifying and more, I think that's what made it do so well.
Okay.
Is that they very lack of music.
Yeah.
In the film. But yeah, to show that could be done for only $15,000 and make that kind of a profit, horror can go to all different extents. Like, it can have a big budget or a small budget, but it's going to make money if you market it right.
And the topics and the cross genres, are pretty unlimited.
Yeah.
Because you've got horror comedies, you've got horror suspense, like you said,
psychological horror.
You've got modes that exist, in them, or you've got horror that exists in the mode in another, feature film. So like Silence of the Lambs, big suspense thriller. That was a slasher film.
Yeah.
Straight up
slasher film.
Yeah.
But it's still terrifying though.
Right.
I mean, when she walks in on him and he's eating the cop's cheek out of his, and
he's just a gourmet.
Yeah. Or when he's flayed up there on the bars, just little like the moments like that. It was just like it was definitely horrific, but yeah, it was a straight up slasher film though. I'd agree.
Yeah, and the subject matter that they pulled from, like that display, it has earmarks of like Francis Bacon paintings and stuff like that. So it's pretty boundless into where it can go and what it can inform.
Yeah.
Or be informed by.
Yeah. And nowadays, with the lack of censorship in horror, I mean, what used to be considered like a hard R, or even NC-17 back in the 70s and 80s, now can be a PG-13 minus the sexual content.
Right.
And even that, to an extent, is getting so desensitized.
Right.
Like, I mean, kids nowadays are watching horror movies younger and younger.
Right.
So they're pushing the boundaries of what can be done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are so many possibilities of where horror can go in the next decade. I think.
Well, specifically with streaming services.
Oh, exactly.
Because most of those just adhere to like the TV rating system, you know, MA plus with, you know, like little indications of,
yeah,
of you know, what might happen, or, you know, what depictions are in the film and stuff. Sometimes there's a little disclaimer, but you're not necessarily getting the MPAA rating, right?
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of, yeah, even that's a bit antiquated. You know, it just depends on, you know, what little shrewd, you know, housewife or, you know, religious zealot might be
watching, or
right.
Yeah, like the whole up in arms about 13 Reasons Why on Netflix.
Sure.
That whole situation drove me nuts.
Okay.
With the suicide of the Hannah Baker character.
Okay.
And somebody got all up in arms 3 seasons later, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
after it had been on for a while, that it was too intense of a scene to show on Netflix, the girl's suicide.
Oh, okay.
And there is a big disclaimer, almost as if you're renting an adult video that says this is NC-17. If you're under 18, you're not allowed to watch it. You know, or there's certain things in here that, you know, may be graphic and triggering to some people. If this is, you know, you don't watch it.
Right.
It has the big disclaimer right there.
Yeah. And
Netflix adhered to the people that were up in arms. They edited around the scene.
Oh,
and
no
they
kidding.
dumbed it down.
Oh, okay.
And that really pissed me off, and I haven't watched season 3 because of it.
Okay.
Because usually Netflix is like really ballsy, and they go for it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to like answer to anyone. We're Netflix.
Right.
You know, and then this one group of people come along and complain about this 3 seasons later, and they listen to the masses. Yeah. It kind of drove me crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, really? That was what the book was. I mean, that was why the book was so popular, is because the author wasn't afraid to,
I didn't realize it was based off a book.
Yeah, Jay Asher wrote the novel, and it was an award-winning young adult novel.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I mean, and that was what hit home with a lot of teens, is the fact that he wasn't afraid to tell this person's story of suicide. And a lot of teenagers came forward and said, hey, I might be depressed, I need help. So and like for a book to have that kind of impact, and then them do the show on it, and then not stick to their guns of staying true to the book, you know, kind of didn't sit well with me.
It does a little bit of a disservice. You know, it's a massively tough subject to depict, but it can also be, you know, that platform that gets people that need help to propel them to go get help.
Exactly, and I think that's what the show was doing, and the fact that they, you know, dumbed it down, you know, kind of negated what they were going for in the filmmakers' creative, you know, intentions for the show. And, you know, like I said, if it tells a good story and, you know, has that character in it, the heart that it needs to have, you know, that's what tells a good story. And that might not be horror per se, but it's very horrific for any family or any people going through it. So, you know, the fact that they brought it down to that level was kind of discerning, like, well, if that's the case, and then they got The Irishman, which is like even more violent than that show, right? You know, but they're not cutting The Irishman, you know, because it's Martin Scorsese, you know, and you know, as much as I love The Irishman, it's like, where's the gray area, right here, you know, as far as what could be done.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, on the surface, like as a society, we're still not ready to talk about the hard issues of something like, you know, like suicide that affects not only, you know, our teens or, you know, children, but so many people of all ages and demographics. And, you know, if that can be, if good art, same thing goes for horror genre. If good art can be at least that diving board, you know, that point where, you know, that where we can jump off and, you know, start engaging and having that conversation. Even if it's just like, you know, parent to child or, you know, one-on-one.
Yeah,
then I
just
think it
open
needs to
the-
be had.
Yeah, just open the discussion to
Right.
whatever, and I think that's really what compatible will do for a lot of people is open the door for parents to like start, you know, being a little bit more open-minded to what their kids are doing online and
Mhm.
you know who they're meeting or you know
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think it'll be, you know, a very important film for people to see and also entertaining
Yeah.
and really gory.
Yeah.
But it does have that story and that heart there
Yeah.
that I think a lot of people are missing from horror films.
Yeah, it'll be really good to see compatible, and you know, like you said, you guys are getting going really quick, so
Mhm.
you're already probably in pre-production
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yep.
And then is there like an anticipated release date that you're shooting for?
We're looking for early summer. We're gonna start post like literally as soon as we're done, maybe like a week off, and then
Okay.
like get into it. I've got a couple of other things that I'm gonna be kind of going into, so I'm gonna kind of send it off to my post-production team
Okay.
and kind of
Cool.
go back and forth on a couple of projects while we're in post. But we're looking at doing maybe the festival route a little bit, but we're already talking distribution plans as well.
Nice.
For possibly an early summer release, midsummer release.
Oh, great. Great.
So then we can have it like ready for like DVD distribution like around Halloween.
Nice.
So like that'd be really good for next year.
And then with your previous catalog of short films and stuff, people can see those on your website, or is there a YouTube channel?
They're kind of all over the place, but yes.
Okay.
In the compatible website or on the compatible Facebook page, I'll put a link to some of my other stuff. We do have one up on the Kickstarter campaign that I did called Better Late Than Dead. Check it out. My husband actually did the production design on it.
Oh, sweet.
And all the makeup, or not the makeup, but the hair of the little girl in the film and stuff. And so it was kind of a nice little family production that we did.
Nice.
And yeah, that was fun. A little bit of gore there, but we showed that around to quite a few places. And
cool.
So yeah, it's a cool one. But check it out on the Kickstarter campaign and take a look at some of my work.
Cool. And then you've got after compatible, like you said, you're shuffling some other projects. So you're going to be getting going on a few other projects too.
Correct. Yeah, a film that I sold a script for a few years ago is finally getting into the almost pre-production stage. They're wrapping up the financial stuff here soon. From what I understand, but it went from being like a little micro-budget shoestring to a much bigger production than we'd expected.
Nice.
With the talent that we've got on board on that one, so really excited for that.
Cool.
And that's an '80s throwback kind of a Stranger Things Super 8 type of genre. But what's funny is I actually wrote that before all those even took off and sold it before those even took off.
Oh, nice.
So the script was kind of ahead of its time, and I think that's why it kind of took a while to get the momentum going, and then all of a sudden, like, the type of story that it is started becoming a big thing.
Nice.
Taking it back to the 80s and that kind of horror and stuff. So I think it'll have an easier time of gaining that momentum and the fan base that it really needed. So I think it was just waiting for the right time.
Cool.
To get released. So hopefully we'll see that in the theaters in the next year or so.
Nice.
Which would be really cool.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting. That'll be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, I think we're probably winding down. But is there anything else that you want to add, or?
Oh yeah. Also, we will have the film that I was in and was a part of Attack of the Unknown.
Oh, okay.
From the Mahal brothers, Sonny and Michael Mahal.
Okay.
That should be coming out next year. I believe October is release next year.
Okay.
I think we're having a show. Might have a showing in the spring, but I'm not sure yet on all the details there. But that stars Richard Grieco and Robert Lasardo.
Oh, neat.
So I went out to LA for that, and that was fun. I got bloodied up in that.
Oh, cool.
Not usually in front of the camera kind of person. But that was a opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Right.
And that was a blast.
Nice.
So that's fun, and that'll be really fun to see. And they're almost done with the cut of the film, so I'm anxious to see it.
Oh, cool.
So
is there a trailer or anything?
There is.
online?
Yeah, you can just go to Attack of the Unknown trailer on YouTube and check it out.
Nice.
But yeah, they have an updated trailer, and if you look real closely, you can see me in the prison cell, all bloodied up.
Oh yeah.
Where I got killed. Like I'm in, like toward the end of the trailer. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, no, that was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming out next year, and this one under my own writing and directing, and with our great team, and looking forward to bringing you guys a new round of horror for this next decade. Excellent.
Well, make sure you go to the website
or the Facebook page.
To the Facebook page?
Compatible, a Screen Life Thriller, and we'll put that in the comments on the interview here.
Yeah, so. and then we'll throw up the Kickstarter again.
Yep.
And Gino, thanks so much.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was great. I
could talk horror all day long.
Excellent.
And movies.
Excellent. We'll probably have to have you on again. And
most definitely. Well, we should do a follow-up after the film is complete and kind of let you know how the progression goes and stuff. We can definitely do that.
Yeah, and we might have your producing partner Angela on.
We'll see who else we could bring in. Maybe some surprise cast or crew members.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Try to work something out.
Yeah, hopefully we can get another one under the belt at least before the Kickstarter ends. Yep. Yeah, if we help push that promotion and get see the project to the finish line.
Yep. Almost done though too. We got like less than $10,000 to go on the Kickstarter.
Excellent. So get over there and look for the link on our page. And so thanks so much, Gino.
You bet.
So this is Dan Crosier. I'm sorry you had to put up with my shit again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we're with Colorado Festival of Horror. So feel free to go to the website, cofohorror.com. Obviously, you're at the Facebook page. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching us here. Unless
they aren't.
Ooh, yes. If this is being projected into your brain, send out an SOS. We'll send the authorities.
Or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're probably being abducted, mind controlled. Who knows? It's probably a short story in a Stephen King novella.
Probably, or coming out soon.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever he puts out this week.
Right.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gino.
Yep.
Yeah.